Hello, everyone. My guest today is Saul Fleischman. He started RiteTag back in the day. It's hashtags from text and from images, and is building the first such tool that rides in any social media marketer's workflow by browser extension and mobile app. RiteKit now provides everything needed to grow an organic, unpaid social audience and soft sell to them as you do it. Saul, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. So the website is RiteKit.com, RITE. What's the company do and what's the revenue model?
So we started with one tool, RiteTag. It grew really big. It was hashtag help, mostly by browser extension. Mobile apps came later. It got really big and people said, I want this, but I don't want to pay for that. I want to pay for something else for social media publishing. So we did something that no one on the team had experience with, which was breaking one tool into four and then building those out further. So RiteTag is what people know the most, but then there's also Rightly, RiteForge, RiteBoost. And the essence of it is just automating the nuisance tasks, things you would do anyway with images and tagging influencers, things like this, auto hashtagging. We invented that. Things like that, it does for you to save you time.
Put this on a timeline for me. When did you write the first line of code for RiteTag?
I'm not a coder. I'm actually the only guy on the team who is not.
Well, you know what I mean. When did the company write?
I'm sorry. Was 8.5 years ago.
Okay, so you sort of officially launched in 2012.
January 2012, yes.
Okay, very cool. And you said RiteTag got really big. I mean, can you quantify that for me in terms of whatever you want to use?
It's somewhere between, I haven't checked recently, but 20-25 million who have familiarity with RiteTag, and then a tiny speck of them have completed registrations, but that tiny speck is 431,000.
What do you mean when you say 25 million have familiarity? What does that mean?
They've visited the site at least once, or they've seen one of our advertisements.
I see. Okay. But of those, you've converted 430,000 into an actual email sign up.
Yes.
That's a big list.
There's a lot of them opt out. We don't write them all.
Okay. So help me understand how getting impressions to a website and getting signups is one thing. Convincing the signups to pay you is another. So what were you selling back? It sounds like it's different now, but what were you selling back at RiteTag?
Yeah. So for a very long time, you could define RiteTag as a browser extension. Yes, there was the site, you'd sign up, a couple things up, but after that, you didn't come back to the site, because you were doing your social in Sprout or Buffer, Hootsuite, TweetDeck, HubSpot, something from Salesforce. That's where you did it because you're a professional and you use the best tools. And then when you needed hashtags for either an image or text, you'd right click on something and you'd get your solution. Copy, paste. And conversion extremely tough. I put it to you this way. If I was addressing 10,000 people in a room and said, how many people have some browser extension for which you could define the product's value proposition as being delivered by the extension? I won't ask you which ones, right? Ad block would be an example, though. All the hands go up, right? I say, okay, now keep your hands up if you're paying for it. So we all use browser extensions, but we think of them as free, and this one won't be.
Well, so that's what I'm trying to get at, right? Is I'm actually looking at the RiteTag Chrome extension now on the web store, north of 20,000 users, 60. Is that not right?
Yeah.
Why are you shaking your head?
Yes, it is.
That is correct. Okay, yeah. RiteTag on Chrome extension, you've got 68 reviews, over 20,000 users. This is the tool that you started with back in 2012. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so when you say you got too big and split it off, what I'm actually hearing you say is you couldn't convince these people who signed up to start paying you, and then it sounds like you said, we're going to get into other lines of business, more specific tools.
No, what we did was with RiteTag, we would have tiers. So with the higher tiers, you would get this and that, more stuff. But then what we kept hearing from people is, I want the capacity of this higher tier, pro or agency. So there was light, pro, and agency. But if you're paying $59 a month, they would say, well, I want this and that, but I don't want to pay you for social media publishing. That was a big one, right? And this thing about like auto-generating posts, ooh, that's a new habit. I've never done that before. So I want to pay for what I want, but not that. And that's when we realized, break it up, and then we can offer just RiteTag, just the hashtag help for a speck of the money. So RiteTag, the price for even light, the lowest tier, went from 108 to 120 to 144. And then it went to
144 a month?
No, a year.
Okay.
It was just hashtag help, but like for light, the lowest tier went from 108 to 120 to 144. And then we added the solution for images, especially powerful for Instagram. And surprise, surprise, people care about that more. And we lowered the price. So it went from 144 to 49 a year. So then things took off a bit more and gave us the ability to develop out other tools.
So RiteForge, RiteBoost, Rite.ly, CTA on links, and then RiteTag. Which of these would you define as your most successful product?
There's a new thing. It's just 2 months ago. It's a thing we actually interacted on. You noticed something on me in a forum, and it was about the package. And with the package, we bring it back together, and you get a discount deal. It's about 45% off when you get all 4 tools. And now this is doing the best. For maybe 5 years running, it was RiteTag that was the biggest seller. And now it's switched to package. It's actually a wild time for us because now the API is our main revenue source. Actually.
How does that work?
It's monetized. You're familiar with APIs, right?
Of course.
So let's say you've got a medical analytics dashboard or cryptocurrencies dashboard, or it's a banking app. Either way, you have people signing up for your thing with a company domain. Now, in their user profile, they could have something there where you've got a little blue guy and you could drag in the company logo. Wouldn't it be nice if the logo just appears? And then, how is
that different than like the Clearbit logo API?
Because ours doesn't require attribution.
Okay.
Clearbit is a competitor for our company logo thing. Ours gets the logo, gives it on a transparent background, so it looks good anywhere. We have more. We update. You send a request and we don't have your logo, we have a problem. We go looking for it. The machine looks for it. And then there's a transparent background. And the really big thing is if you're Citibank, you don't want to give attribution everywhere that you use a logo to Clearbit.
Sure.
So that's okay.
So the way I found you though was on Indie Hackers. You have a lot of products under your name, and the one that caught my eye was the RiteKit package, which you posted an update in March of 2020 and said you had a 3x customer conversion goal reached, and you put the revenue up as about $2,600 per month. So this right now is your now most successful sort of bundle product.
Yeah, it's looking that way. It's been like 2 months.
Let me just say, there's no other individual product that's making you more than $2,600 per month.
The API is.
The API. Okay. The logo images API you have on Product Hunt, it says 0 in revenue. So you just haven't updated that.
I don't share the revenue for that. And that's one. So we have 19 solutions. There's 19 endpoints. It's like having 19 businesses.
Why do you
So
do that?
They do radically different things. They serve different markets. I gave you an example of why someone would want company logo, either from Clearbit or us or other solutions that are out there, like what that does. But how about generating images? So that's serving a totally different market. So we get to serve totally different types of customers, learn about them, find out what else we can do for them. And then as we get better at building these things, building future ones becomes easier.
But isn't building the easy part? Isn't distribution way more difficult? There's 100 Canvas out there, but Canva dominated distribution, and now they're $1 billion company.
I really revere Canva for the experience when you first try it. Distribution, yes, I would agree, is really tough. Especially with us, we're 100% self-funded, 100%, always.
And how many of you are there full time?
5.
And it looks like, because the Chrome extension says it was public.
30. We've been actually as high as 30. A lot of the time we've been in the teens or around 20. Right now it's 5.
And how many engineers?
4.
Okay. So, and I can, from the Chrome extension publishing location, because Google requires you to do this, it says the Czech Republic essentially. So do you have an outsourced team of, Do you have an outsourced team of 4 engineers, and that's where they are?
No, we don't outsource. We've never outsourced anything.
Why is the location on the Chrome plugin published in Czech then?
Because our office is in Prague, our bank is in Prague, and we operate under the umbrella of Main Top Businesses SRO, a Czech corporation.
Okay. So is there a strategy there, or what's the thinking there?
No, what it is these things start as projects. You know, you and I intermingle with the indie hackers people. Something starts as a project. You don't know it's going to become a product, and from that, a company will, be built. So it started this way, and we needed accounting.
Were you living in Prague?
No, but our CTO, Michal Hudacek.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. Yeah. So your CTO, and where are you living now?
I'm in Osaka, Japan.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. So distributed team, your CTO was based in Prague. Is he still there?
Still there, yeah.
So
we have an office. We have an office that we legally can't go to because of Czech Republic and Corona. But these guys, we've never outsourced. It's something I don't believe in. Actually.
So, how do you think about your month? You have 19 projects. I can barely focus on getting one thing right.
It's not projects. So the 19, they're endpoints. They're working. So if you, first of all, we have a demo dashboard. You can play with this yourself. You don't need to be an engineer. It's just try it, see what it does. Open it in incognito mode. It'll work for you anyway. You don't have to read the documentation, study anything, be a coder. You try it. So you're the business or marketing guy at a company. You find this. You see what it would do for your thing. You put your engineers onto it. They're the ones that get the developer token, read the documentation. But if you start out with, say, tier 2 of our API, this is $330 a month. Yeah.
But you do it in a smart way, though. You bill based off sort of credits, which are tied to, I believe, the number of image searches a company might do per month. Is that accurate?
No. It's a matter of we need to price different endpoints differently. They cost.
What does that mean, though? What does endpoint mean?
A solution. So,
yeah, but trying to find that to someone listening right now that doesn't know your product.
Oh, sure. So it's taking text, making an image from it. That's like one action. So this is with image generation.
Okay. And then give me another example.
Company logo. So company logo, it's whenever there's a domain and you'll do complex things with filtering. So if that domain is Gmail, You're not going to try to get a logo for that or Hotmail or something. But after that, then you're going to get logo. That's an action. That action costs 2 credits.
I see. Okay. So the right question I should be asking is, across your 19 endpoints, how many actions are you performing every month? Is it, I mean, it could be in the millions, correct?
Yeah. It's, I don't have right in front of me. It's probably, in the tens of millions.
Yeah. And then that is then how you grow the business, because pricing is directly correlated to number of actions per month.
Yeah. So just for perspective, our most well-known product is RiteTag. And if you're paying for that, it's only yearly. But if you look at it, MR, we can talk MRR, of course, right? And monthly recurring revenue for anyone who didn't know that. Right. If you look at it on a monthly basis, it's $4.08. You're paying for our API. The lowest tier you can pay for is $49 a month. So 12 times. On the other hand, customer service is almost nothing with the API.
So I mean, if you're processing 10, so you think it's 10 million actions per month, or tens of millions, like 40?
It's tens.
But less than 100 million.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so somewhere between 10 million and 100 million actions per month across your 19 different endpoints, which are essentially all your different products that you've built.
No, they're not different. So there are a lot of things that we use. We don't use all of them, but there are things that we use, but they're not identical to our products. They're not representations.
You have built 19 tools to help your business run. When people choose to use you on a credit basis, you on the back end are using some combination of those 19 internal tools you've built. Some of those tools show themselves in your product, some of them don't.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it.
So some of them we don't even use yet, but we market them. Some of them we're planning to use when time permits.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason I'm doing this math is because your most expensive plan is tier 3, 1.5 million credits, right? Or we defined it as actions earlier, per month. All endpoints are included, and that costs $600 per month, right? For 1.5 million actions. Is that right?
Yes. And I can tell you right now, we don't have a single customer on that.
Yeah. But what I could do then is take 1.5 million, divided into a minimum of 10 million actions you just said you're doing per month. You're doing north of $6,000 per month right now on revenue. I
don't reveal what we're doing in revenue. No disrespect.
I'm multiplying off your pricing page, which is public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can make assumptions, but then
no, it's not an assumption. It's not an assumption. I'm reading 1.5 million tier 3, $600 per month, and you just said north of 10 million actions per month.
But here's the thing: so people pay for access to calls with their credits. They don't pay for their consumption. So you'll notice in pricing for the API, it says 100 credits free on the free tier. There's a free tier. Yeah. Okay. So let's say you've got something small and you're going to need 70, 80 credits a month. This is really, really small, ridiculously small. But you know what? You pay for tier 0, which gives you, I think it's 50,000 credits. And why would you do such a thing? You would do such a thing even though you don't even think you're going to use 100, because you don't ever want to be stymied. You don't ever want to send a request and not get what you want. So companies pay for a tier of the API for access to calls. Doesn't mean they're consuming them all.
Yeah, so what you're arguing is people are potentially paying for more than what they're actually getting for fear of they don't want to run into a limit.
Yeah, some of them, they might be using 38,000 of their 50,000 calls for that tier. But others are playing it safe. They don't want to get called in the middle of the night. They don't want to get called when hey, something's broken in the site. What's broken is they were stingy, and instead of paying 150, they paid 49, and they just went a little bit over that limit for a few days.
I see. So what you're arguing is, hey, Nathan, yeah, I understand the math you're doing, but we could be doing way more than $6,000 per month because people will pay for more than the number of actions we're actually completing.
Always.
I see. Interesting. Okay, very cool. So you've done any plans to raise capital, or you want to stay bootstrapped?
And no interest in raising, no.
I love that. Did you have a horror story there or something? You said that very quickly.
No, it's something that our CTO, Michal, and I have studied. He has worked with funded startups. I call them externally funded startups. We both have read venture deals, both sides of the table and such. So we understand about it, but we also understand about control. It's about more than just money. It's about control, and it's about getting in bed with people who have control over first look at opportunities to flip your baby. And these are people that might be invested in, well, it's not usually people, it's a fund that's invested in several hundred projects. But for you, it's what you do 7 days a week. In my case, I have no complaints, but I work 7 days a week. And this is all I do. I'm not also a crypto enthusiast or own a hoverboard. This is what I do.
Did you and your CTO at the beginning decide to just cut it right down the middle, 50-50?
No. Oh, God, no. We made plenty of similar mistakes where we were like, because remember the thing that I said about these things start as projects, Nathan. We don't know that it's going to become the kind of company that's going to last for decades, 100 years or something. You don't know that in the beginning. So we did like splitting equity, something I wouldn't do now, something I would handle that totally different. Fortunately, it worked out. So
what do you mean? So do you own the majority of the company or not?
It is owned by three of us. I don't discuss how much is owned by each person, but the original three that started RiteTag are the owners. But there have been a couple times when there was someone we wanted to take on that wanted equity in their package, and then we looked at, hey, us three guys are going to have to throw something into what we should have started with. It's called equity pool, but we didn't know these things.
So why didn't you do it?
I'm old. I'm supposed to be knowledgeable, but I.
So what happened though? Is the third person that had equity at the beginning, is he or she no longer with the business?
No. So the three that started, we still have it, but I'm just saying there were two people that. We went down the path of discussing with them. We wanted to hire them. They were really mission critical type people.
Did you?
We didn't in either case. And they had other offers. One is teaching data science at Colorado School of Mines right now. Another is at Google.
Okay, but sorry. So what does that have to do with the conversation about equity?
So I'm saying that we went down the path of, oh no, we've allocated 100% of equity. What happens if we wanted to take on funding, or what happens if we wanted to hire someone and give
simple.
them
You three agree to set up a 10% option pool, and you each get 10% dilution.
Yeah, we would basically throw back some of our equity.
But you were saying this like it was an issue, but it's not. It shouldn't be an issue.
No, it hasn't. Like, we just agreed to do that, and then it wound up not being something that we needed to do.
I see. Okay. Well, look, we're out of time. Before we wrap up with the famous five, I mean, what do you think takes you from where you are today to hitting, like $1 million, $2 million run rate? How are you going to drive growth?
Probably a lot more that has to be added to the package. And then a couple API solutions that get modified. They could be stronger than they are now.
Okay. And so you're less than 2 million in ARR today?
I don't discuss that.
Okay. Well, I just asked, what do you have to do to get to that? And your answer was, we got to add a lot more to the packages and do more.
It's early in the morning. I miss the sleight of hand with the words, but I don't share what, I don't say we're below or above that, because that would be a mistake to share.
Okay. Why would you say that's a mistake?
It's a mistake because whatever number you put out there is at the same time too low and too high. I assume you've read Crossing the Chasm.
Yeah, Jeffrey Moore's been on the show many times.
I know. Okay, so here's the thing. It's when someone at a big company is influencing someone at a big company and can stop a sale or something, and they see, wow, these guys are only bringing in, let's say, $200,000 a month. They must be teetering on the brink of circling the drain.
Why would you assume that?
Well, because they're at a big company and all they know is big companies, and they think, wait a minute, their revenue, not profit, but their gross revenue is a measly whatever the number is what I'm saying. Okay?
So I think you're inside. Can I just be on? I think you're inside your own head here. I think this is you totally projecting. You, for whatever reason, feel like your revenue is embarrassing, and I would argue it's probably not. You've convinced yourself it is, but it's not. Because there's many people at big companies that look at companies that are only doing $10,000 a month in revenue. But guess what? The month before they were doing $1,000 a month in revenue. And so the growth is incredible and the team is talented, so they buy the company.
Well, we've had experiences actually speaking with people where they're considering buying. We don't have seats in our product, so they're going to pay for many subscriptions.
It's usage based.
Yeah, so they need 40 subscriptions. And so they might be looking at $20,000. And what they want to know, there are other things that come up. For example, oh, wait a minute, you're not a US based corporation. See, they're never going to sue us. They don't plan to sue us. They're not interested in that. They want to know that they could easily. And it's
Saul, sorry. Again, I just think this is already public. You can see on the Chrome page that you're not a US company, and you can see on Indie Hackers you publish $2,600 a month in revenue.
For that one thing and for very short term. It was a very brief period.
Okay, but like you either at your core believe you should share revenue or you don't, or you believe you should disclose your US or not. You've already broken two of your own rules because that's how I found you.
But like I say, it's only for a brief period that I shared that, and on something that's really complex, the package. So remember how I said that a number, whatever let's say it's 10,000 MRR, that number is both too high and too low at the same time. So for some companies, they're going to say, I can't trust these people, tiny team, and that's all they're doing in money. They might go out of business. I would hate to be the guy who made the decision to pay for this, and then they go out of business. Okay, it's like a black mark against me. But that same, let's say it's 10,000. Let's say what's something that you could consider in some cases, a small number. To somebody in Bangladesh, she's working 6 days a week and for less than $1,000 a month. Considerably less, you'd be surprised, less than $1,000 a month with her degree full time. And she's thinking, I can't match everything these guys do, but I'm shrewd enough to figure out what's the gem at the center of of somebody's product. And I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to offer it for half the price. And if it doesn't work out, blow it out on AppSumo, and from their perspective, this is a thing to do. And I would not encourage competitors. And I also would not dissuade those who they would like what they get when they pay for it. And we're not about to go out of business. They're not going to look at that we're 8.5 years in continuous development. They're also not going to look at the difference between self-funded and externally funded and how we don't have a monkey on our back. We have an infinite runway, But I think I've taken too much of your time. I want to be sensitive.
No, I mean, I think what I would say is it's a mixed message. You already put a price, you put 26, it is up right now. Anyone can go view it. So if you believed what you were saying, you wouldn't have that up anywhere. So that's all I'm trying to back into. I think regardless though, the model you've built is interesting in terms of usage based. It sounds like you've got some arbitrage on your human capital, which is great. You can build a lot of stuff, a lot of value very quickly. And it sounds like, again, you're in this for the long haul. You're self-funded, so you don't have to answer to anybody else, which is great. Let's wrap up here, Saul, with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Marketing to Mind States, William Leach. I keep going back to that. There's others, Propaganda on PR. But that
marketing to mind states. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Douglas Saylor. Has a hybrid method for producing dental and medical appliances.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Asana.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
6.
Okay. And Saul, what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
We're married like 22, 23 years.
Congrats.
I'm an optimist, so I consider her my first wife. I'm doing 20 to life with the chance.
How many kids?
No kids.
Okay, no kids. And how old are you?
53.
All right, last question. Take us home. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Whatever you have to get out of trading your time for money. Now I love SaaS because people pay us for product rather than service.
Yep. Guys, there you have it. RiteKit, social media marketing automation tools. Been at it for, call it 5, 6, 7, 8 years now. Got a team of 5, totally bootstrapped. They can do whatever they want, build whatever they want, growing nicely. Saul, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it, and the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.